Welcome to Deep Dive, and we're here to unlock complex topics fast.
Offer us topics and send your materials.
So here's a question. Can changing how you think actually, fundamentally, change how you feel about your life? It almost sounds too simple, maybe, like, too good to be true. Today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that, looking at Brianna Wiest's collection, 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think. Really powerful stuff. Our mission here is, well, to pull out the most important ideas from these essays. Think of it as a shortcut to understanding personal growth, boosting your emotional intelligence, and really truly shifting your mindset.
Yeah, and what's striking right away is how directly Wiest tackles that opening question. She basically says, yes, absolutely, your thoughts create your experiences. She makes a strong case that our feelings aren't just, automatic reactions to what happens around us. Instead, they come from our internal stuff, our interpretations, our thoughts about what happens. So if you want to feel different, you got to start with how you're perceiving things.
Okay, right. Let's unpack that a bit. This idea of the power of thought and perception seems central. The book really digs into this, saying it's not just that we see the world, but our own unique lens, shaped by our past, our beliefs, maybe even our mood right now. That lens actively, builds our reality.
Exactly. So you could have two people go through the same thing, like a major career setback, and one person might see it as the end of the world, spiral down, while the other, they might see it as, okay, this is a chance, a push towards something new.
So the same event, but totally different realities based on their internal filter.
Precisely. Their thoughts are literally creating different experiences.
Okay, that makes sense. And that seems to lead naturally into self-awareness, right? Looking inward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Self-awareness and introspection are critical threads throughout the essays. Wiest really pushes us to become conscious of our thought patterns, even the subconscious ones, the automatic loops we run in. Because you can't really change your internal landscape until you first understand what's actually in it.
Right. And here's where I found it got really interesting, the take on emotional intelligence. It's not just about aiming for happiness all the time. Actually, quite the opposite. Wiest suggests that uncomfortable feelings, they're actually signals, indicators for growth.
Yeah, not something to just push away or suppress, any of them more like a compass.
So that weird feeling in your stomach, or maybe getting constantly irritated by something.
Right. It might not just be negativity. It could be your intuition saying, hey, maybe not this path, or, a boundary needs to go up here.
It's about asking, okay, what's this feeling trying to teach me?
Exactly.
But, isn't there a danger there? Taking responsibility for our emotions. Does that edge into self-blame if we're unhappy? How does she draw that line?
That's a really important point, and Wiest is careful here. Taking responsibility isn't about blaming yourself for having feelings, especially tough ones. We all have them. It's more about recognizing your agency. You have power in how you interpret things and how you choose to respond. It shifts the focus, from why me to, okay, what can I learn here? How do I move forward?
So it's empowering, not shaming.
Yes, exactly. Understanding empowers you.
Yeah.
Shame just keeps you stuck. And there's another key piece she brings in. This idea of pursuing purpose over just chasing passion. Passion, she argues, can be kind of fleeting. It might depend on external validation or just a temporary buzz.
Okay.
Purpose, though, is deeper. It's tied to your values, to making a contribution. It's more about what impact do I want to have than just what feels exciting right now.
Right, something more solid.
Much more solid, yeah. More sustainable for long-term fulfillment.
Yeah.
And tied into that is letting go of limiting expectations, those rigid ideas we have about how things should be.
About ourselves or success.
Exactly. What success looks like, how life has to unfold. Releasing those frees up so much mental energy. Allows you to work with what is.
So bringing it all together, what's the core message for us, the listeners? It seems to really boil down to taking responsibility, doesn't it?
It really does. That's the foundation. Acknowledging, like you said, in an empowering way, that you're the architect of your thoughts, and so your emotional world.
And yeah, some people notice repetition across the essays.
You do. But I think that's often intentional.
Yeah.
It helps reinforce these core ideas until they really sink in. It makes them stick. Ultimately, the book works best, I think, as a kind of mirror, a tool for self-reflection.
Yeah.
For recalibrating how you approach everything life throws at you, moving from just reacting to being more intentional.
So to sum up this deep dive, Brianna Wiest's work really hammers home the incredible power of our inner world. Our thoughts, how we interpret things, our mindset, That's what shapes our actual experience of life. It's less about what happens and way more about how you frame it.
Which leaves us with a pretty important question for you to think about. If our thoughts truly do create our experiences, what's one single thought, or maybe one limiting expectation you hold right now? What's one thing you could choose to reframe, or maybe even just let go of, starting today, that might genuinely shift your reality?
What stands out to you from all this? Something to mull over.